Good evening. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Lutheran Social Services of New York and its culinary adventure featuring Chef J.J. Johnson. My name is Damon Kelly, and I am the president and CEO of Lutheran Social Services, and I'm so happy to see so many of you here tonight supporting our efforts as we raise funds to serve the more than 5,000 people that Lutheran serves on a daily basis through a variety of programs. We are so honored and pleased to have with us tonight a wonderful, young, and exciting chef who I had the opportunity to meet probably about 6-7 weeks ago. Very open, very personable, very friendly, and I think somebody that has really contributed to the New York City food scene. I'm not going to read his bio because it's in the brochure, so to save time, and this is really his show and his event. So, friends of Lutheran Social Services of New York, please join me in welcoming Chef J.J. Johnson.
I want to say thank you, everybody, for having me tonight. Truly a pleasure. It's always fun coming to the Bronx. My dad grew up in the Bronx and in Harlem. It's like this big debate in my house. And my aunts are from Harlem, but my dad's from the Bronx. I don't know how that happened. So it's great coming to the Bronx. And for me, I have a fast casual restaurant called Field Trip. It's a rice bowl shop. One's in Harlem, one's in Rockefeller Center, and the other one's in the US Open Tennis Tournament. And we're going to be expanding over the next couple of years. And the Bronx is a place where I have a lot of pins on the map of where should I go, where should I open. So to be able to connect with the community here is great. And I used to say, if I can make it in Harlem, I can make it anywhere in the world. But I believe a Field Trip can make it in the Bronx, a place where people don't get good, affordable, conscious, healthy food, then we can make it anywhere in the world. So the Bronx is on the next horizon, so I appreciate everybody welcoming me with open arms, and thank you very much. I also want to commend you all for 5,000 meals a day. Like, that is spectacular. So I want to give everybody here a round of applause for the effort that they put in. And I want to say that hits near and dear to my heart because during the pandemic, Field Trip was only one location, and we served meals every day to people in need, to frontline workers, to families, to nurses, to doctors, and we did everybody in Upper Manhattan in the Bronx. And during the pandemic, we did about 220,000 meals. So I know what that's like to do that. I'm here today to have fun with everybody. My cooking demo is going to be about one of our famous dishes in our restaurant. It's pineapple black fried rice. Black rice is really good for you. It has vitamin Bs. It's grown black. It's cultivated black, and it's served black. And I know if you're Haitian or you have Haitian friends, they might say to you, oh, black rice is with dried mushrooms. So this is a different style of black rice. And it comes from my time when I was cooking in Singapore, that pineapple black fried rice and chili crab you would have a lot. But at Field Trip, we do pineapple black fried rice and salmon with peri-peri sauce. Very similar to that you would see in West Africa, in Ghana. So if you don't have a wok at home, you can get this super hot pan here. And I always start it with a little bit of garlic. And I like to toast my garlic, a little bit of ginger, and then some mirepoix. And mirepoix is carrots, onions, and celery. And I like to let that sweat down. And you can do this. You just need the pan really, really hot. And you just need to get all that flavor out of there. And I'm going to throw that back on the burner. I'm going to add a little bit more oil. Some people always ask me, what's your favorite oil to cook with? I love cooking with avocado oil. So if somebody in your family has high cholesterol, or you do, switch to avocado oil. It will help you. Also, grapeseed oil has a great smoke point for searing steaks, for cooking fish. So I love grapeseed oils. Those are my two favorite oils. I do have olive oil in my house, but I don't really like I poach fish with olive oil because of the smoke point and where it burns. So a little bit of black rice in here. We always cook, the rice have field trip when we're frying rice is always at least a day old. And the reason why we want a day old rice is so that when we fry it, it absorbs all the flavor that we're putting into the pan. So that's what we have going there. We're gonna let that get hot. Some things that are gonna go in there is our house-made soy. It's our gluten-free soy sauce. It has a little bit of sake, grapeseed oil, and then our sweet chili sauce here, which is some pineapple juice, chilies, and the sweet chili sauce there. Not too spicy, has a little bit of a kick. Now, while that goes, I have some salmon roasting in the oven. I have some Brussels sprouts roasting in the oven. And my other pan is our wok vegetables, which consist of collard greens. Now, these are not your mama's collard greens. I don't want nobody getting mad at me. These are just some nicely sauteed collard greens. I believe that you can eat collard greens raw. You can saute them like spinach. They don't need to be braised in the pot for 4 hours. If you want to cook them in the pot, cook them for 45 minutes because all you're doing is cooking all the nutritional factor out of the collard greens, and now that's why you have the famous pot liquor and why that tastes so good. So, now I'm not telling you don't do it. I do love a braised collard green, but you don't have to do that because you want all that nutritional factors that are in the collard green. So in this pan here, again, I'm gonna take some oil. I have it smoking hot. I'm gonna take some ginger. I like ginger in my greens. Give it a little kick. And I'm gonna saute this up. And then I just have some greens that are chopped here. And I'm just gonna throw that in the pan and let it pop a little bit. And that's going to saute down and break itself down really quickly. Add in a little salt. And what I like to do when I'm cooking the greens, I like to have other vegetables with it. So I like Brussels sprouts. I like carrots, sweet potatoes in my sauteed greens. And you can do the same thing here with kale, mustard greens, Swiss chard, right? But the great thing about the collard green, it just takes on all the flavor that you want. Just gonna throw a little bit more in here. And we do these greens in our wok in the restaurant. And then I'm gonna put in some raw carrots. Now, I like carrots with a bite. I don't know, I just have this, I'm a big fan of like a raw carrot. I used to be a kid to walk around, it was the only vegetable I would eat as a kid. I would walk around the house snapping on a carrot. And as a chef, I also love the raw carrot too. So I'm gonna saute that up. I'm gonna slide this table here. And I'm gonna pull out my Brussels sprouts. Hold on. Slide this over. I'm gonna pull out my Brussels sprouts out the oven. And I roasted them just a little bit. I'm gonna throw these right in there. Now it's fall. This is something you can definitely add to your Thanksgiving table. I'm gonna pull out the salmon because I don't want it to overcook. Well, actually, I'm gonna keep it in here. I'm just gonna turn off the heat. So saute this up nice and lightly, but this is the perfect sauteed vegetables for the Thanksgiving table here. If you're looking for a Thanksgiving hit this year, some roasted Brussels sprouts, some carrots, and the collard greens. Now, if you want to kick this up a notch, you can add in some soy. You can add in some black vinegar. You can add in a bunch of things, or your harissa, anything that you love as a condiment in your kitchen. So here we have the black rice. Can everybody see this black rice? So I'm just gonna set it here. I'm gonna add in some fresh peas. I'm gonna add in some pineapples. Smells good? They said it smells good, y'all. Some pineapples here. A little bit of our sweet chili. That house soy. And a fun fact about soy is that traditional soy sauce does not have gluten in it. So if you're eating in a Japanese restaurant and you're eating like there's no gluten in soy. American soy sauce has gluten. I don't know why, but go to the store, buy low sodium soy, buy gluten-free soy sauce, and if you like it, you'll be able to cook with it. So we have that going really nice. I'm gonna turn that down. I'm gonna put the rice, nope, don't go on the burner, please. I'm gonna put this back on the burner here and mix this up really nice. Now, if you don't like peas, you can put edamame beans. You can put lima beans in there. You can put whatever you want. I'm just giving you the base. If you don't like pineapple, orange segments are really great. Peaches in the summertime. Any type of fruit go really great with black rice. If you're a person that loves to cook your rice in a solution, right? Chicken stock, orange juice, you can build a beautiful solution and the black rice will absorb it all. The only thing about black rice is, if you don't like rice with a bite, don't get black rice. Because it has the germ, it has the bran, it has everything wrapped around it, which gives it all those nutritional facts, which most rice we are eating here, they're pulling all those things off, so why the rice cooks so quickly and also so soft. Now you had black rice when you came, right? Okay. That's great to hear. So this is what this looks like, really nicely mixed here. And now I serve this with our sauce, which is our peri peri sauce. It's a tomato-based sauce. I cooked in Ghana in 2011, 2012, and I actually found myself through food. I went there just to cook American-themed dinners, and I wind up eating out at the best places, having a lot of ignorant moments, but learning that I was a kid from the African diaspora and that I wanted to cook food from the diaspora. So I came back, and there was no place to go. Culinary school didn't teach you about food from the diaspora, so I went to encyclopedias. I looked at every Afro coast, and what I do is I merge flavors of the people. And I cooked at this restaurant called the Cecil, which was Afro-Asian American, which I called my claim to fame. And then I went out on my own and opened up, well, I didn't just open up Field Trip, but I did some stuff, raised a little bit of money, and then I was able to open up Field Trip in Harlem. And the reason why I picked Harlem was my family's from Harlem, and I knew that my cousins and my aunts and my uncles would at least walk through the door, so I would have some type of paying customer. And I think that's what it's all about. It's all about community. It's all about the people. It's all about ones that believe in you. So I have some rice, I have some salmon in here for you guys. But yeah, the peri peri sauce is a tomato-based sauce. It's with bird-eye chili, onion, ginger, garlic, stewed down. So think of like spicy rigatoni sauce, just with a little bit more punch. And we call it at Field Trip the legendary peri peri sauce because it is legendary. So, and the great thing about Field Trip than any other restaurant or any other like fast casual restaurant, I believe, it is a complete meal. So you get rice, you get a vegetable, you get a protein, and you get a sauce. So you can eat this for lunch or dinner. It's great the next day. It works out really well. And we just build the bowls just like this. A little bit of those greens in here. The Brussels sprouts. Now, some other places you can kind of catch me. I have a cooking show on Clio TV called Just Eats. I'm in my 4th season there. And you can see me cook. I call it Kitchen Counter Talk. It's me and a celebrity or me by myself. And we hang out and we talk about everything in the kitchen. What channel is it on? It depends on your carrier. If you have Spectrum, it's like 168. And it's a great show. A young lady came up to me and told me she watches my show, which makes me feel very proud that somebody's watching me. So I appreciate that. I also have a cookbook called Between Harlem and Heaven, which won a James Beard Award in 2018 for American Best Cookbook. And I have a rice book coming out called The Simple Art of Rice next year in 23? I always want to say 22 because we lost a year. But yes, 23. Lost 2 years, right? Yes, yeah, you're right. So yeah, this is how the bowls come at Field Trip, just like this. I'm gonna pass these ones around to everybody in the room here. We put a little bit of sauce on top. And at Field Trip, we take real pride on where we source our ingredients. So, you know, the salmon is sustainable. The collard greens are coming from a local place in New Jersey. We're really thinking about where everything comes. But the biggest thing is that the rice is coming directly from the farm. So it's freshly milled rice from the farm, and that's what's really important to us. So our brown rice comes from a Texas farmer. Our black rice and our Carolina gold rice come from South Carolina. I'm gonna pass these around. Where's Kara? Pass them down? Perfect. And then I'll plate up some more. Anybody have any questions for me? Nobody has a question?
Yes, please. Please, everyone, feel free to ask questions.
You can ask me anything. How to roast a chicken. What you want to cook for Thanksgiving. You want one no fish? Okay, perfect.
Hi, how you doing? My name is Esther. I would like to know exactly what is in the black rice.
What's in the black rice?
Yes.
So we have garlic, we have ginger, we have peas, we have carrots, we have onion, we have celery, and then we have our house-made soy sauce and sweet chili sauce that we make in-house. And the black rice is grown black, cultivated black, sold black. You can't do nothing about it. You can't dye it that way. You can't do anything. That's just how it comes.
Hi, my name is Sony.
I hope I answered your question.
Hi, my name is Sony. My question is, what is the dish that you are most proud of and why?
Ooh. The most dish I'm proud of and why? That is a hard question. What am I most... I think I'm proud of a dish in every step of my career. I was on a cooking show on Bravo called Rocco's Dinner Party, which got me introduced to the owners of Cecil, and I made an oxtail dish, and the theme was speakeasies. So I always love oxtails. And I put cinnamon sticks in my oxtails, so not traditional. I put cinnamon sticks, yeah. It's delicious. Trust me. So I'm thankful for that dish early on in my career. I would say now in my career, I'm thankful for rice. I'm able to use what I consider the most disrespected ingredient here in the United States and get people to enjoy it and love it again. Because we don't really have a rice culture anymore. Our rice culture is so lost. And the US has been built on agriculture. And during the gold rush era, rice was one of the things where everybody made so much money off of, Carolina gold rice, and we lost that. So I would say that's what I'm thankful for now in my career is rice. Any dish that I put rice on the plate. My Jamaican dishes now, I don't really have any Jamaican dishes. You know, I have Bayesian dishes now because my grandfather's from Barbados, but I don't got it. I mean, I can make Jamaican food, but if you Jamaican, you can probably make it better than me. But I do make some good rice and peas or peas and rice.
Chef, my name is Jennifer. Could you tell me where your restaurant is in Harlem?
So my restaurant in Harlem is between it's between 115th and 116th Street and Lenox Avenue. It's on the southwest side of the street. If you get off the 2 train, the 2 and the 3, you can see it on any corner. Just look for the purple neon light. How many more people need bowls? No fish, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2 no fish, okay. Yes. Collard greens. You know why? Collard greens work harder than kale. And also collard greens is a true vegetable of the American South. It doesn't grow anywhere else but the American South. It does grow, oh, let me take that back. It does grow in Brazil, but it moved from the US to Brazil. So you will see Brazilian collard greens, but it is an American green. You will not find collard greens in West Africa anywhere. What do I do with callaloo? I mean, I'm gonna ask you that. Cook it down nice, see?
Chef, it's your last day on the planet. You have 3 meals to eat. What are you eating?
Can you repeat that again for me?
It's your last day on Earth. You have 3 meals to eat. What are you eating?
Well, I'm never leaving Earth, so if you're going up there, good luck. I'm not going. And if I had 3 things to eat, a New York City slice of pizza. Ooh, 3 things. A piece of oxtail and some rice. That's what I'm going with. But if Earth goes down, I'm going down with it. I'm not leaving. Any questions in here from anybody?
Quick one for you, Chef. I mean, all of your cooking expertise is way above my pay grade. But let me ask you a little bit about you. Tell me what it was that got you to a point where you realized that I want to be a chef and I want to do what your career has become.
I grew up in my grandmother's kitchen, and at a really young age, I was 7 years old. I told my parents I wanted to be a chef, and two veggies, and I always saw when my grandmother cooked. You need a piece of salmon? You're good with the veggie? Everybody got one? You got one? When I was a kid, so my grandmother always at the table was like a gathering place. It was the funnest moments. It was also the loudest, and people did argue. But to be able to see food bring people together around the table, I was like, oh, this is easy. Why don't I want to do this? Now, on the other hand, my mom never wanted me to be a chef. She wanted me to be a doctor or a politician. She was a very blue-collar teacher, blue-collar worker. Why do you want to be a blue-collar worker? And but food has always been my passion, my love. I burned a lot of birthday dinners as a kid, but I do look back in life, and my family did cultivate me what I feel like an elite athlete, like a high school athlete. I mean, I ate raw clams as a kid. I made crab cakes. I would go to nice restaurants. I would go to Queens, to pig roast. So I saw a lot of food as a kid, and I'm very thankful for it. But my grandmother was the one to make me really love food. And now it's seeing smiles on people's faces. It's employing folks. It's a little bit different than what I ever thought would keep me going. But it is a great feeling.
Okay, I'm sorry. I have a question.
The business side of it, how difficult was it barriers to entry in terms of really being able to go to take it to the level that you've been able to take it to now? I'm sure it's a long story, but you've got to get the right breaks at the right time and believe and have it happen to make it work.
Yeah, when I left the Cecil, the landlord of the building I was in found my phone number and called me up and said, if you're going to open a restaurant, please come here. And at that time, I was never going to open a restaurant in Harlem. I didn't want to. But I was able to raise some type of money from friends and family. And it was hard. Probably should have raised a lot more. And every day as a business owner, you're dealing with something. You're spending money on something you never thought you would spend money on. You're dealing with a headache that nobody ever told you was in the playbook. But for myself, I'll go into a day in my mind that it's always going to be a hard day somewhere. So I don't let things kind of break me down that way. But for myself as a black business owner, is always getting capital, always getting people to believe. And I'm just thankful to get people walking through the door doing events like this with everybody to expose the business and who I am.
I have a question.
Yes, no, 100%. I 100% stand behind what you guys do here.
Oh, so my question is,
Chefs that mentored me or inspiration. Of course, coming up, Emeril Lagasse, watching him on I think he inspired all of us with BAM. And then through my career, of course, finding out about Patrick Clark, the original chef at Tavern on the Green, was an inspiration. And then every step of my career, there's a certain person that kind of inspires me. So I would say early on culinary days, Marcus Samuelson at Aquavie, of course. In the middle of my career, a couple of chefs that were overseas in like Singapore and Israel when I traveled there were inspirations. And I would say now in my career is definitely Steve Ells, the founder of Chipotle, right? He was a chef that built this conglomerate of a food chain around really good food. So I look up to him. I email him all the time. He never responds. But I will keep emailing till he does. Any other questions out there?
yes, one right here. Oh, two. So, how many minutes should you really cook salmon? And the meaning behind field trip, is it because back in the days, going on field trips, you didn't have any healthy foods to eat?
Oh, I'm going to take that one from you now. I like that one. Going on field trips, you didn't have anything to eat. No, the name field trip was a hard name to come by, but field is for all the rice fields. Trips are for all the trips I've taken around the world. I've been fortunate to cook in Ghana, Singapore, Israel, and visit rice farms in India. So in every one of those places, rice is always at the center of the table, people getting very excited. And then the second question was, what's the perfect way to cook salmon? How many minutes? Okay. Are you roasting it? Are you pan roasting it? Are you steaming it? Pan-sear. So here, I'll give you a tip because everybody's oven's different. So you want the pan to be smoking before you add your oil to it. So add the oil when the pan is smoking, then place your fish in the smoking oil, and then put that pan in a 350-degree oven, and it should cook in about 6 to 8 minutes. That will be like a perfect medium. If you want your salmon medium well to well, it'll be 10 to 12 minutes. And that top part will be nice and golden brown, and then you don't flip it. You just, when you're done and you pull it out the oven, you flip it, and the terminology we use in the kitchen is that you let the other side just kiss the pan.
Thank you.
Oil, avocado oil or grapeseed oil, those are my choice of oils. 350 degrees. When I cooked in Ghana, so field trip has jollof rice, and it is Ghanaian jollof. If everybody here is Nigerian, I think you will like it, but I'm not gonna get in jollof wars with anybody. It's just my style. But in my cookbook called The Simple Art of Rice, I'm doing a Liberian jollof rice, which is very similar to jambalaya. Yes.
Yes, so I have a question. What was your passion?
So,
was it cooking?
Oh, I got a question in the inside. I think it's, I got one question here, and then I'm going to come to you. I see you.
Okay.
Hold the mic real quick. So the difference between, the question was, what's the difference between store-bought rice and milled rice? It's a really good question. So store-bought rice that we're buying in the store is an enriched, bleached grain. We should not be eating a bleached or enriched grain, right? And enrich means that they're pulling all the nutrients out of the rice and basically steaming them back in the rice in the par cook method. You're making me get really geeky now. And the reason why they did that with rice is when slaves were free and nobody wanted to give them land, they were the only ones that knew how to grow rice in America. So they had to go back and learn how to enrich and parboil rice, why it became a big part about it. You can read about it. There's a show on Netflix called High on the Hog. They talk about rice on this episode, which is really spectacular. But you can Google enriched rice or parboiled rice in America. And it was a town that figured out how to do it to get the rice back on the market. But freshly milled rice should be refrigerated or stored frozen because it's an active germ, right? So just like if you were to get flour that was freshly milled, the same way. So freshly milled means like it has the bran, the germ, it has everything attached to the rice. It's gonna take just maybe 2 or 3 more minutes to cook, right? It still takes about 25 minutes to 30 minutes to cook. There's nothing different than the instant rice that we get. But it's actually really good for us. It has everything that the body needs. And that's why it was important for me at Field Trip to bring freshly milled rice kind of back on the market for everyday people to eat. And we don't serve any bleach or enriched grain. The basmati rice we get is from India, right? It's not from Mississippi or Texas. The sticky rice we get is from Laos, because Laoese people taught the Filipinos how to grow sticky rice. Carolina Gold rice comes from South Carolina. Texas, brown rice comes from Texas. It's a really important part of our ethos, but it also uplifts agriculture and the small farmer here in the United States or in the world. You could buy black rice in the store, H Mart, Whole Foods, Fairway. And I would say the best farm to buy black rice from in the supermarket is called Lotus Farm. And they basically do the same thing like coffee farmers do. If you were to buy freshly milled black rice, you would get it from Anson Mills. Question with the person with the mic. Where'd you go?
So I have one question. So I wanted to know, what was your passion? Was it food or was it cooking? Why you chose to go to a culinary school as opposed to an academia that focused more like food versus academia?
So I chose food because of my grandmother. She always was able to, the food always brought people around the table and put smiles on our family face. And if that's what food did, then I wanted to be involved. So I chose to be a chef at 7 years old. Now my parents, my dad was a big champion for me to be a chef, but my mom was not. But my dad in the household would be on my mom's side, but when we would leave, he would like, go do it, you can do it, you can do it. And academia, I fell into that in my role as a chef. No chef that has a point of view isn't studying food, right? Where it comes from, what's the best place to get it, the supply chain, who makes the best this, why does it happen that way, what turns salmon pink. You dive deep into all that and the process of it. And that's what makes the point of view go really well, or what makes pineapples go really well with black rice, or why do cheese and tomatoes go good together. You are studying some type of academic or knowledge when you're studying food and looking at it from a really strong point of view. I hope I answered your question. How was everything? Great, good to hear. Thank you. No, you're fine. So I'll be around. I'm gonna walk around and say hello to everybody. I believe there's some food in the back, right? And it's from Field Trip, from the restaurant. So please get a plate or get a bowl. There's no oxtails or rice and peas, but we can figure it out later. Don't worry. I got you. And I just want to tell you, thank you for joining me tonight. I know you could be anywhere in New York City, but you chose to be with me, and it really means a lot. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Chef JJ. for a wonderful presentation and a wonderful explanation. So we're going to get ready to serve the food. And so we're going to do it table by table, organized. Don't bum rush the food service, please. So we're going to start, to make it fair, the table on the far end on the left and this table in the front right here. Go up and get your food. And we'll call people that way. Also, I wanted to let you know, in your gift bags that are at your seats are samples of the rice that Chef JJ described. You either have a container of Carolina Gold or Jefferson Red rice. Both come from the Anson Mills farm that he talked about, as well as some spices, which I hope you'll enjoy. An event like this can't take place without the support of so many important people. So I hope that you will indulge me for a quick second. I want to thank our many sponsors for this event: Mormac Supply Company, Carriage Trade Insurance, Ecology Exterminators, Intrinsic Inc., and Healthy Heart Food Service. I also want to thank two of our board members who provided sponsorships: Rachel Monroe Cohen and Harrison and Roxanne Ulrich. Again, as I said before, this type of event is not possible with the support of so many individuals. I want to thank our staff, Christine Amadeo, the principal of the New Life School. And I don't know where Mr. Clark is, but Dwayne Clark, who he and his staff did a yeoman's job in putting this room together. So thank you, Mr. Clark. I also want to recognize Jennifer Mirsky, our social media consultant. For those of you who follow us on LinkedIn and Facebook, you know Jennifer does a yeoman job. And then I want to thank some very special staff who helped to make this event really, really possible. So first, I want to thank Gloria Hazard and Nancy Rodriguez for their service. And I really want these two people to get a big round of applause, because they're the ones that enabled this event to happen. They're the ones that we met weekly, literally for an hour and a half, once a week, since May, planning, plotting, implementing, crying, screaming. I want to thank Kimberly Polson in the back. Kim, wave your hand. They need to see you. And Ruth Acevedo, also in the back. Finally, I would be remiss if I didn't thank our board of directors. They're the ones who employ me, quite honestly. They're the ones who help set the vision for the organization. And I thank our members of the board who are here tonight. So board members, please raise your hand. Last but not least, I want to recognize representatives from the Mayor's Office of Food Policy. And I apologize, I forgot to write your names down. So just stand up and wave so people know who you are. All right, so when you do these type of things, you always forget somebody. Is there somebody I forgot? Say it now, because I don't want to email tomorrow saying I was ignored. Going once? Oh, yes, thank you to our servers, teachers and staff from the New Life School. So thank you very much. Oh, Isaac Pula, who also helped. All right, I'm not naming anymore. Send me an email tomorrow. I don't care. We've got Chef JJ for, I think, a few more minutes. So if anybody has any questions. Okay, we don't have Chef JJ. Everybody got their food? The first two tables? Oh, they should go up and get your food. I was ready to call the next group. Y'all are holding up the line. All right, let's send up, Andis, why don't you, Andis, your table should go up next. So go ahead and get your food. Please feel free. So again, can we give a round of applause for Chef J.J. Johnson? Oh, here he is. Thank you, Chef. We truly appreciate you being here and your partnership with Lutheran Social Services of New York. Thank you. Anything else you want to say? Okay, so Chef JJ is going to walk around and say hello. Right, don't let the food get cold. Thank you very much. you at a future event. Thank you. All right. So I just wanted to say hello to everyone who is watching us virtually. We thank you so much for being here with us virtually. We understand that you may have wanted to be here, but for a variety of reasons couldn't. We thank you for your support. We're glad that you were able to watch the cooking demonstration. We're sorry you weren't able to enjoy the delicious food that's being served right now, but we do thank you for your support, and we look forward to seeing you at a future event. Thank you and have a great night. I'm sorry, the next table, Rachel, your table, and Margarita carrying your table. Did you guys? Go up and eat.